Hi, my name is Steve Wiedemann, and this is my first ever week in search review. Thanks for taking a few minutes to watch this. I'll try to make it as quick and painless as possible. We're going to go over what's been going on in the SEO and PPC world that is the high level, super important. Obviously, a million things happen every day. This isn't to go over best practice or training or technique. This is just news. So let's get to it. Cut to the chase, Steve. Get on it, right? So first things first. If you've been building links by putting something on your website that other websites can embed and including a link in that embed, that widget as they call it, then you're up for penalty. And the talk on the internet is, hey, Google reminded everybody that we don't use that as an acceptable best practice to build links as far as using widgets. And at the same time, we're hearing all this talk about this Penguin 4 update. As you know, Penguin updates have to do with links that are pointing to your website that are suspicious in nature or gamey, if they contain keywords, if they're on websites that aren't really relevant to you. So, with that in mind, I put 2 and 2 together. The 4 update coming, 4.0, and this little warning about widgets, probably a good time before this update happens, if it isn't already happening while I'm talking, to go ahead and just remove those widgets. If they exist, contact the webmasters who've done the embeds. If you can track them down, use your Ahrefs or Moz account to find those links and go back out and say, hey, thanks for putting the widget up. We appreciate it. Please use this fresh copy of our widget. And, feel free in there to put some branding. You know what? Honestly, if you put some language in there that gets the person to search for you, that's more valuable than the link itself. Because when people search for your brand, there's an inference that search engines make about how popular you are. So get this and more widgets at brand name and make them search for you. And if you don't rank for your brand name, you're in the wrong business anyway. So make sure that that there's some language on the widget that encourages people to or sort of forces them to have to search for you. But don't do this link widget thing that people have been doing for a long time now. They're also cracking down on non-secure websites. Particularly with Google Chrome. So as you can see on the screen in the presentation here, there's an example of Chrome 53, and there's a little login example, and then there's the not secure. Well, now they're going to put a big red little notification in in the search results in the Chrome browser to let you know the site's not secure. Worse is if you are doing an e-commerce transaction and someone's putting money in or putting information into a form to purchase something and you're not HTTPS, you're going to get a big ugly warning, probably worse than what you see on the screen, reminding the user that hey, you're on a site that your credit card and personal information is at risk. So every website that has any sort of transactional where the user's putting information into a form, you got to make it HTTPS. You just have to do it. It's good for the user. It builds trust. The whole internet is going HTTPS. So if you're not on that bandwagon, now's the time. Keyword volumes, as you probably used in the past, the keyword planner has been a tool that's allowed us to see sort of a range of how people are searching for a particular keyword, where it gives you a specific number. Well, a lot of smaller advertisers or non-advertisers are using the tool more for the organic side, not the paid side. So Google just said, you know what? You kind of don't want to use the tool for that. We want our tool to be available for advertisers. So if you don't have a significant budget, if you're this guy here in the image and you just don't have a budget for AdWords, you're not going to get those numbers anymore. Now you're going to get broader ranges of numbers, as you see in the screenshot, 10,000 to 100,000. It's a pretty darn big range, 10,000 to 100,000. So, if you're not spending a lot of money, if you're not an agency with an MCC and, able to leverage, a client account to pull keywords, you might not like the data that you get from here anymore. So just something to keep in mind. This might also affect APIs. So those third-party tools that we use to pull data from, it's possible that some of that data is going to start going away as well. So keep your eyes open for that. Mobile friendly. So mobile is, 60% of all visits now for most websites come from mobile devices. So if you're not already doing it, you're missing out on over 50% of your traffic, of your potential traffic if you're not doing mobile. So Google's finally decided, it's been over a year now. Let's just go ahead and pull the little label out of the search results. So they're not going to say, mobile friendly site anymore, because obviously everybody needs to have a mobile site, and enough webmasters are jumping on the bandwagon. And if they haven't yet, then they live in the dark ages, and aren't someone or a group of people who care about inbound marketing to begin with. So those are the latest and greatest updates with Google. If you want more, if you want to keep up to date, please follow me, SEO Steve, at Twitter. And thanks for your time, and thanks for watching.